Where am I looking? Good morning. Welcome to Hug Nation Live. I am John Halcyon Stin. I am a practicing gratitude enthusiast and a love ambassador and a joy facilitator, and I work with men's groups and do personal coaching. I'm actually really interested in getting a couple more personal coaching clients. Sliding scale, I just want to work with people who are ready. So reach out and I would love to hear from you. What is Hug Nation Live? Well, it's a daily practice of coming together and sharing gratitude and remembering that we're surrounded by like-minded, open-hearted people. So if that's you, you are in the right place. And if you're feeling, I'm not feeling very open-hearted right now, you're still in the right place, because I think you will find that we illuminate one another. So I'd love to hear in a comment what you're feeling grateful for. Good morning, Edna, and good morning, Gerbot. Thank you for saying hello. Lisa left yesterday and I slept here alone. And even without her, I find places inside that shone. My health was crappy 2 days ago and now I'm feeling great. I even was productive and stayed up a little late. Well, it's Hug Nation Live. Well, welcome to Hug Nation. Don't you feel alive? Hug Nation, it's for your attitude. Hug Nation, we focus on gratitude. Good morning. Try to make up a song every morning. Song in quotes. As I went to see my friends perform with songs they'd written a couple nights ago, it was very clear to me the difference between a written song and a musically expressed group of sentences, which is what I like to do. Hello, High Noon. Theresa says, I'm grateful I got laid off so that I can build a life that fits me instead of trying to fit into a mold, doing work I love. Congratulations on your transition and good fortune into whatever is next. May your open heart and open eyes see the opportunities that are drawn to you. Good morning, Julie. How nice to see you. What are you grateful for? I feel like I got lots to be grateful for. I think I wrote some things down, didn't I? No? Maybe I didn't. Did I? I'm grateful that I finished a beading project that I was working on. I've been wearing this one set of beads a lot and realizing that I'm enjoying having open-necked light clothing and mala beads. And but I don't like them with tassels. I don't like it with charms, and they've been hard to find. So I reached out to an Etsy person who had some that I really liked, and it said made to order. So can you make it without the charms? They said, sure. So I ordered some, and they arrived with charms and on this kind of stretchy rubber string that just the string did not feel very like it would last. So I was like, how hard can it be to rebead an already beaded necklace? YouTube will show me, and followed some steps, followed the process. I think I did a pretty good job. My problem was, even when wearing my reading glasses, the crimping beads and the pliers for crimping, I think I bought the right tools. Man, my eyes, even with reading glasses, I was just like, this is very small. And the fingers, like the dexterity of, I may have to employ some youthful folk to do the last stages of bead squeezing. Or maybe I can bring the whole thing into like a bead shop and say, can you put the closing beads? Can I pay you to do that? Maybe I will do that. Good morning, Juan. Anyway, I'm grateful and proud that I stuck to it and got this done. Natasha says, good morning from the continued 100-degree Albuquerque. This is a great song. I'm grateful for all my dogs that give me all the snuggles and a husband that does the same. I'm grateful my kids had a great first day of school and a successful first bus ride home. Yay! Natasha's adding, I find the information on some packaging infuriating because it seems so flippin' tiny to me now. And Lisa the other day was like, I can't read this with my glasses. Can you? I go, maybe see if you can use your phone to take a picture and blow it up. She's like, okay, I'll try that. It was, who do we think we are? Don't they realize we were looking at screens all day and our eyes can't do this? Gerbot is grateful for Zoom that allows me to hang with friends many states away. Me too. Noon is grateful for a 4-mile paddling on the bay where I saw a 40-foot sailboat. As I paddled it, I yelled, I love your boat! Grateful for the tides that allow me to go with the flow. You're spending time well spent. There's a song about time well spent that was sung that I've written out and I'm trying to learn to practice. I want to sing it in the future. That reminded me of, but maybe it's too soon to sing it. Natasha's saying they haven't course corrected for internet addictions yet. Right, and I mean, it feels like it's getting smaller, though, on some of these things. And sometimes they put, like, a QR code, so, like, they just expect that you're going to look it up online, the directions online. I don't know. I'm grateful that I got a call yesterday that my physical therapy appointment, they had an opening today, so I'm going to get to go after this, going to get my physical therapy appointment that was going to be 2 weeks away. Yeah. Which is good news because I was feeling a little discouraged about my medical situation, considering they told me my minor sister movie, in and out local anesthesia thing, was going to take $4,000 out of pocket for me. So guess who's keeping their cyst for now? This guy. Good morning, Sarah. Sarah says, I am grateful to tune in live with you all. Grateful to be packing to head to Grand Targhee and the beautiful Teton Mountains for a weekend music fest with my tribe. As a jewelry designer, I can relate to the vision limitations. You may want to have a hired bead stringer place some knots in your stringing so if it breaks, you don't lose them all. Crimps can be unreliable. Well, that's disturbing. Yeah, the one I was thinking I might try a thicker wire too, but I could probably discuss that another time. And I got 3 different ones, and I just made the first one to wear it for a while and see if it works. And I'll see. I wrote to the Etsy person and said, hey, this isn't what you said, in case that maybe. Although if they take the charm out and they send it back to me on like the rubber wire, I don't want that rubber wire. Partially because as the bead, when you walk with beads and it has a rubber wire, there's a slight stretch, so they're way more clacky than when it's on a wire. You've reached Hug Nation's Bead Talk. Caller, on the air. Juan says, I did not get an early pass to get into the burn this year. I did find out that I can show up early to the gate and give paletas to the builders and artists when they wait in line. Yes. You are a dedicated gifter, Juan. Bravo. I did take notes. Where? Aha. I am grateful for a beautiful email that I got from a friend that I've met him a few times, usually at Burning Man. He's a close friend of a close friend of mine, and thanked me for an interaction. And 3 years ago, their child came out as trans, and this father didn't know how to best support their kid, and they lived in a place that was pretty conservative, and asked if I had any info or resources, if I knew anybody that he could talk to. And so I made a post on Facebook that was like, hey, I've got this friend who's going through this, and he's looking for experienced parents of trans kids. You know, asterisks, if you write anything here that's not supportive, it's going to be deleted. And the thread went, over 100 comments filled with such beautiful, supportive things. And he ended up getting connected to some incredible people. And it was a very beneficial to the situation. And he wrote me 3 years later saying how significant it was and how much it means to him and his son. And they're still going through difficult things and things with the courts. And the feedback from me and others and the support from people that came through that situation has been so helpful to the court situation, to the son's sense of self, and to the father. And I'm just so grateful for that. Feels like an example of love ambassador faith working out. That was not a grand gesture on my part. That was not a significant amount of energy. It was being asked a question, knowing in advance, I am a love ambassador. Here's an opportunity. Sure. How can I help? How can I help do the little gesture of help? And it has this significant impact in other people's lives. And I think every day we are in that possibility. And I know for myself, I need to keep reminding myself to do your love ambassador. That's why we do this in the morning, so that when the opportunity comes later in the day, even if you feel busy, you're like, wait. Actually, no. I know what a love ambassador would do in this situation. Yeah, let's talk later about that. Or, I know just the person. Or I think I got something for you. Follow up with me tomorrow if I haven't written to you, and let's see what we can do. So that was feeling really good. And just the second part of that I was thinking about is I had a nice long talk with my mom yesterday, And I told her about that story. And I really want to encourage people to make a tradition of sharing your wins with your folks. That it's like if you built something awesome at Burning Man out in Deep Playa and people were having awesome experiences with it and you never heard about it, great. It feels good knowing it's doing good in the world. But if somebody oh, you are the one that you made that cool thing? Oh my God, I had so much fun there and we did this and this. Thank you for all the work that you put into that. Oh my God, that was so great. Thank you. And I think that is kind of what it's like when you tell your parents, the people that put so much energy into raising you, doing their best to prepare you and put the right morals and love into you, that you're their art project. And if people have fun with you out in the deep play of the world, they would love to hear about it. So I enjoy sharing my wins with my folks. And if you're someone who doesn't really have a good communication style, or it's taxing, or they don't hear things, maybe try a voice memo. Just say, hey, just want to share a win with you. Throw it out there. Leave a flower on their doorstep. You don't have to engage in a conversation if you don't want to, but I just was noticing how good it felt to give accolades to my mom for this art project that she created, that she worked on for so long. Good morning, Kiri. Hey, Sherry. Sherry says, grateful that you read out the gratitudes, hearing them in your voice and joyful inflections. Grateful for simple things, the sunrise, yummy coffee, an easy day ahead of me. I am enjoying my coffee today as well. You may have noticed I sometimes go deep coffee and then I have to wean off coffee, and those wean off coffee days and weeks are not so fun. But currently the way I am navigating, it's worth it. I enjoy the coffee days enough that I'm willing to deal with scheduled downtime. And speaking of weaning, I'm on day 4 of no desserts. I was sick for 24 hours, so that made it easy. And then the next day I was a little cautious around food. Plus, I'm pretty sure I can trace my massive eczema flare-up to eating a family pack of caramel M&Ms. Just the amount of milk chocolate in that, I think, triggered it. So I'm in a no desserts phase. I can have fruit. I haven't decided yet if I can have granola, but I had fruit in non-sweetened granola, and I added some of my sweetener to it. And that goes back to Kiri, what we were talking about yesterday, of building trust in yourself. It feels good to know that I'm doing what I want to do, that I have said I would do. And to remove that little sliver of disappointment in yourself, or it's not disappointment, it's a lack of trust. It's there's your id is in control in some areas that you'd rather it not be. So it's fine, but you would feel more healthy and at peace if you could trust yourself to follow the directives of your highest self. So So I'm giving it a shot. I've got some barbecues this weekend, so we shall see. Natasha is grateful for our swimming pool too with this heat wave because I can invite the kids' friends over to cool down. We're having a sleepover tonight for a couple of them for this very reason. Awesome. Yeah, the heat. And it's significantly less hot in San Diego than the places you're talking about. And it's still, our house AC cannot keep up with the heat. We've got like a wall of windows. And so I moved in. I had a room AC from our old place that now I've put in my office because my office is like, tends to be the warmest in the house. So rather than trying to keep the whole house chilled, I'm going to work on just keeping this place comfortable. Sarah says, happy to help with beading. All right, cool. Well, let's talk more. Sherry says, I'm grateful for you sharing examples of goodness in people. Thanks. I really think that that's one of the wonderful things about this practice is that, we've been conditioned to think that newsworthy is everything that's going wrong and examples of people doing things that disrupt and betray and lie and there's other news like people being awesome. So I love sharing and I love hearing stories, examples of the good people out there, large and small. Natasha says, I did wear my Love Ambassador shirt to the school drop-offs this morning. Yeah! Sweet. Oh! I'm grateful that the We Love Bees people came yesterday. If you've been, the saga started like 6 weeks ago. Thought we were going to kill the bees. Then the We Love Bees people came and said, no, we're going to be able to transfer it. And then there's this process of them moving to the new temporary hive, which is a cardboard box. And they came back yesterday. And at a long interaction, they've removed the temporary hive, which then they're going to transfer to a permanent hive, like a wooden beehive thing. And then the current plan is for them to bring them back and put them in a place that is far away from the home, so that we will begin a attempt at beekeeping. So these bees that chose our home will continue to live here, just not damage the structure of the house. We'll see. There's a bunch of condition and things we need to figure out, but I was very clear, like, tag these bees. I want these bees back. I don't just want you to bring me bees. And they're like, yeah, okay, we got it. So the people who work there are so fucking cool. They're so they're enthusiasts. They love bees. And so as they explain things, as they talk about things, it's infectious. I love talking to people that are passionate about anything, Like when people ask me for public speaking advice, and I'm always just let people see your excitement. Let people see what you care about. That is way more compelling than the content. Kirbot says, sharing your wins with your folks. Brilliant! Thanks. Do you do audiobooks? I'd listen to that. No. Although I have been thinking lately about resurrecting a Hug Nation podcast where I either convert some of these recordings to audio only to be listened to while driving, or record things that are less interactive with the live, that are just ponderings and talking that could be listened to, lessons and ideas and gratitudes, maybe mostly gratitude, but and making that into like an ongoing and maybe even like a daily podcast, because I like podcasts that there's a fresh one all the time. Maybe it's not that long, even maybe it's just a 15 minutes a day. I've noticed that I get excited about ideas and I don't follow through with them all, and that's another place in myself that I don't have full faith in myself. I've got this script that I'm working on for a gratitude course, and many days go by between me re-looking at that script, and so. But it's on the list on my wall right there. I just put up a cork board, and it says Hug Nation podcast and gratitude course. Yep. Bunch of other stuff. Heinen says, I'm gratitude for the times I was an educator for those with learning differences and physical differences. Embracing their authentic self to be seen and hear is so important for everyone, but that sounds especially awesome. Gerbot says, grateful for Caltrans beautifying the hillside across from my house with their weeding and pruning for the past 2 weeks. Yay, Caltrans! Does that mean there are people who are doing community service, or do people work for Caltrans as jobs? Either way, thank you, Caltrans. Kiri says, I'm feeling grateful today that one of my longest standing friends is flying into town to visit me this weekend. I absolutely love showing people around the city, and he's never been here before, so it's going to be amazing. So cool. Yay. Good morning, Tara. Tara says, I'm grateful for Sean, Kelly, and Kylon for being willing to help me with our puppies. I was in a pinch. I didn't need their help after all, but them being willing to help me is everything. I love that. It's amazing with like a little gestures, or knowing you can count on someone. Like, I'm super grateful for my friend Michael, who messaged me the other night and says, hey, I clicked on the link in your signature file, and the link to your life student isn't working. And it doesn't. And it's a setting on the server that I had to talk to my host about. And it's been there for a long time. And I don't know if anybody clicked on it, and I'm sure, well, I'm not sure. But anyway, he clicked and took the time to just say, hey, just so you know, this ain't working. I'm so appreciative of that. I try to do that. Even if someone who's like not a great friend, but they send me like an email, they send me to a page of something they're working on. I'm like, not sure if it was intended, but it looks like you got a typo right there. Which isn't the same as taking care of puppies, but just made me think of gestures of I'm here for you. Tara says, I can relate. Lots of ideas, so little time. Maybe I need better focus. Yeah, I think focus is the key for me. I mean, some days I use my time very well, and other days I definitely do not. And often there is a correlation between coffee intake. Grrr. Kiri says, that reminds me, I'm super grateful. I have friends who are also pet sitters, and they've offered to help me out with watching my kitties while I'm away for 3 weeks. Yay. Kiri continuing with all caps, grateful for my cats. Today is their birthday. Good morning, Andrew. Andrew says, grateful as always for clean water, shelter, and food to eat. So many people in the world, especially those in Sudan, Yemen, Gaza, who do not have those things. There is, I think it's a good exercise just to make a list, just to notice the things that the wealthiest in the world would not have had, 400 years ago. Their brain's just as smart but just no access to plumbing, no access to AC, no access to transport that moved faster than a horse. And look at us living in a science fiction world, and our minds just shoveling lists of things that suck into our brains. So that's why we do this, to try to go, wait, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. There's a lot broken. There's a lot that needs our help. And wow. Oh, I'm grateful for a video I posted on my Facebook last night about that. A guy did a little bit about twins, two fetuses in the womb having a conversation. And my grandpa used to tell a story, like, he said, if you could interview a fetus and ask, would you like to be born and come out into the world? It would say, no, are you crazy? It's warm here. I have everything I need. I don't want to go out there. And this story takes that conversation and it's just, I thought it was fantastic. Really, really gives a insight into the limitations of our human experience and kind of how silly it is for us to feel competence in any absolute understanding of reality. We are indeed so lucky. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love my problems. Whew, so grateful that the things that I have to work on today are good. I mean, they're challenging, they're interesting, they allow me to I got no fences and to build in 100-degree heat. I got it good. Natasha says, oh gosh, I'm so grateful for science-y podcasts and articles that keep on trucking to help distract me from the doom scrolling news listening to, because science is fucking amazing and cool. And what I keep forgetting, and I keep having to remind myself is, and it's changing, like the things that, when you're raised with a certain understanding of science, it gets cemented that that's what's real. That's the way the world is. And my brother yesterday was talking to me about kind of the current state of what the beliefs are about working out and muscle building for strength or bulk, like how most people are doing it nowadays, which is different than when I was growing up. And there's so many things like that. As we learn more and learn more and learn more, things that were once considered truth are now different. Yay for science. Natasha says, I am thankful my challenges aren't actively trying to kill me every day. Right? I mean, the amount of time I've spent in my life seriously thinking about my survival is, I can count it in minutes. That's awesome. Gerbot is grateful for technology that allows me to work out and get ready for the day and still be able to be here for all the other gratitudes. Awesome. Thanks for the workout inspiration. I'm actually grateful I did my physical therapy this morning. I did a small walk. Now I'm going to go to physical therapy after this. Yay for self-care of the body. High Noon is grateful for finding Hug Nation in a dark time in my life. Coming here really is making this bean shine more. Thanks, y'all. That's the ripples, yo. Now your shine is shining onto others and shining onto others. Yeah, you're making my day. Hello, Vesper. Vesper got the keys to our new apartment today. I'm excited to start building a home with my partner, our first place together. That's huge. Congratulations. That has been a fantastic experience for me, building a home together. So I wish you so much growth and connection through that. Natasha's grateful. My hubster dragged me out for our morning walk even though I didn't wanna. Yay for good partners. And with that, wherever you are, let's give ourselves a big old squeeze, appreciating our bodies, our safety, our connections, our relationships, all the amenities and technologies that so easily we take for granted, but give us time and space and opportunities to make choices and spend our time in wonderful ways if we choose to. May we share our gratitude more. May we appreciate our lives more. And through those simple adjustments, let our ripples heal ourselves in the world. Let's take a deep breath in. Squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us, thanks for being here. I love you. Enjoy your day. It's Friday, right? Woo! Have a fun Friday. See you tomorrow.